Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Truth Seeker podcast.
Wait,
My name is Erin. I'm excited and delighted to be with you
now you're
today.
making fun of me. You
I'm
do it.
not.
You're doing my thing,
I love it.
and you're making fun of
I'm
me.
not making fun. I love it.
I'm excited and delighted to
I'm
be
just
with you.
I'm just dorky. That's just what you
That's
get.
all I am. Excited. No.
My amazing guest today that I have with me is Truth Seeker,
Hey, what's up, everybody?
world-renowned scholar,
No,
UFO expert,
keep going.
beloved of Christ,
Mystic,
Christian mystic,
just mystic. No, I'm joking. Christian mystic for sure.
talented
Yeah. Well,
rapper.
thanks for having me, Aaron.
You're so welcome.
On one of the last ones, they were like, "It was so cool to see you interviewing your wife."
Yeah.
I had to, 'cause I talk a lot. I had to make myself. Wanted to make sure we got your story out on the trauma one and your
Yeah.
story. So tried my best.
You did good.
You did great.
And I don't talk a lot, so talking a lot is a challenge
Okay,
for me. So,
here we go. Well, we're gonna talk about ufology, UFOs, and angels and aliens, and what they may be. Maybe we'll share some of our experiences, cause God knows we got
yeah.
some. We got some. I feel like I'm leaning in for the mic. I'm just, yeah. Okay. All right. So what do we got going on? We before we start talking about weird stuff.
UFOs.
So let's talk about weird stuff. Let's talk
Yeah.
about regular stuff.
So, we want to talk about our retreat coming up. We have a retreat coming up July 18th through the 20th in Knoxville, Tennessee. Our good friends, Melissa and John Powell, are having us up there, and Melissa's going to teach on herbalism and medicinal plants. And we're going to have cacao ceremony. We're going to have a sacred sound immersion with the sound bowls and a gong. We just got an amazing gong. It's super resonant. It's really, you can feel your heart chakra vibrating when you play it. It's amazing.
It's freaking awesome.
We are going to do some teaching on fumigation, incense, and we recently got in relationship with Awaken to the One. Is that the name? Did I get it
Yeah.
right? Awaken to the One. It's a new company, new people that we learned about through someone else, and they have relationship with the frankincense trees,
Yeah.
and it's Boswellia sacra. It's the sacred frankincense strain. So this one is bred only for that purpose of being used in sacred ceremony, and they actually go and harvest it themselves and have relationship with the land and with the trees and the sap. And man, it is beautiful, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful medicine, and we're going to be bringing it to be a part of our ceremony with you guys in Knoxville.
Yeah. I'm excited to be able to introduce that to everybody. It kind of sucks though, cause like once you've been introduced to that, you can't go back.
Oh, I know.
You can't go back to Amazon incense or or resin. Like it's not the same. It's not the same at all.
Intention matters, man. When you really do it with your heart right and your intention set for what it's going to be used for, and it helps create a more beautiful experience for people.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, shoot, there's a lot of amazing stuff to where we're going with this podcast. We're gonna be talking about aliens and UFOs and angels and demons and all that. I think that there's a conversation where, fumigation for one played a role in antiquity and in ancient Christianity to drive out spirits,
Yeah.
to subdue and make spirits subside and to calm them down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even with your spirit, with your feelings and emotions and stuff, and there's all of that, just the way you feel,
Mm-hmm.
but also like a deeper conversation that these plants and mushrooms and things like that were before the embodiments of gods or people. All of the mythology ties the plant, all the kingdoms back to a former kingdom that existed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's real easy because we get caught up in like, that's not spiritual. Incense isn't spiritual, and you see that by most Christians, they've been taught to demonize or
Yeah.
to, not to demonize, but what do you call it? Disrespect and really trample these precious gems, pearls under their feet the moment we begin to talk about them. You don't need that for exorcisms. Well, the people before you did. The
Yeah.
early church did, and they wrote about it extensively.
I mean, tell that to
Extensively,
people who call on Jesus every day asking for help and then nothing happens.
right?
Like, what are you going to tell those people?
You need Jesus. It's only Jesus is what you need, is what they say, until Jesus doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I like the one comment you said about fumigation and incense, where it came to somebody said Jesus is all you need. Would you say?
I said, but Jesus is the one holding this plant out to you saying this can heal you.
Yes.
And you just slap his hand away and say, no, I want you to do it. I don't want to do it. I want you to do it.
Yeah. Jesus is all you need. Okay, Jesus has given you this incense that he's made a way for healing to flow freely from the throne of heaven
Mm-hmm.
to the bosom of Mother Gaia
Yeah.
to you, that you, by partaking, your body would be at ease, your mind would be at ease, your emotions will come into subjection to the perfect will of God, the Word of God, by coming into harmony in unison with everything. But you don't want it.
Right.
You'd rather take an alternate route and have Jesus. The Bible says, do not tempt the Lord thy God.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of that falls under the guise of tempting, because you're like, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wear the clothing. I want to eat what I want to eat. I want to wear what I want to wear. I want to do what I want to do. That's rebellion. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. God's given you precepts, and the reason we're so passionate about these is because we find all of this in the Bible.
Yeah.
Like in passing, you don't just like read about Abraham planting a grove of a certain tree and then keep moving, and that tree's never mentioned again. We're like, when we're
Yeah.
where we are in the Bible, we don't let anything slide. Hold on, Abraham, what grove did you plant?
What is the tamarisk tree?
A tamarisk tree.
What did it look like?
What does it do to the psyche? What does it do to your body? Why the pastor didn't tell me about the tamarisk tree?
Who came through that desert later and encountered those trees?
Yeah. So there's little pearls that are spread out before the swine, and we've all trampled them because we just, oh yeah, tamarisk tree, seen one of them before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, frankincense resin that the priest would burn in the temple and go in and receive messages from God. I don't need frankincense. I just need Jesus. Okay. Your life looks like it too. Your life looks like all you need is Jesus, because it seems like it ain't working.
I mean, if Christ is in all and through all,
It is.
then
It is just Jesus. I know it sounds like facetious or whatever we're mocking, but we're mocking the fact that every good and perfect gift comes from the Father above.
we reject Christ when he comes in other forms, like even other people. Like somebody can do something mean to you. That doesn't mean that they don't have Christ and love within them somewhere. And
Yeah.
we reject people, we reject plants, foods.
The moment you tell so many evangelicals, won't they find out that Jesus wasn't a white man, they're going to reject that.
Yeah.
They already do. Like, he has to look a certain way, speak a certain language. And when you find out that he's not any of those things that you think, but all of them at the same time,
Yeah.
for me, it's a greater love, a greater respect, for him, a greater power that he literally is in all and through all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We're talking about this. This is the details of the relationship, that
Yeah.
it is ancient, and it is an intelligence with all of the kingdoms, especially the plants and the minerals and the crystals and all of that. So to deny people an aspect of any of that is to deny them an aspect of Jesus.
It is. It's blasphemy in the biggest form.
Yep.
To demonize these things that are so beautiful that
That
God
help you.
himself breathed life and created it for us.
Yeah.
To show us an aspect of himself.
Yeah. The studies are as simplistic and as close or as deep as you want to go with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I would suggest to any and everybody to just do a simple study on, like, whatever plant that's mentioned, and look up the medicinal properties, but also look up the studies that were done by different universities, and you'll find out that, hold on, there is a plant, sage, frankincense, myrrh, palo santo, copal resin, jasmine, lavender. All of these, essential oils got big for a reason.
Yeah.
They exist like in tandem with us, and help us and alleviate so many symptoms and make us feel better and relieve stress. And um, the fact that people don't want to tie it into demons and demonology or using it with exorcisms or whatever, um, is they don't know what whatever definition they have in their mind of what a demon is, and what at least what the symptoms they also cause. It's
Yeah.
a spirit of infirmity. And so if you read the list, when you look up these studies, they, like sage and so many friends in the plant kingdom, like their DNA, they exist to counteract all of these things that were done to us by the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they fight against these symptoms. They fight, eat this plant, your depression goes away.
Yeah.
I don't want that plant. I want Jesus. Okay. You don't, what is the spirit of infirmity if it's not depression and sickness? What is a demon then? Is it a ghostly, ghastly goblin? Is it? It is. It's all of those things.
Yeah.
But the way you tell that they're there is not you seeing them outside of you. It's you seeing how you're responding to under pressure, and you have this stuff in you.
Well, and demons come to show us things about ourselves that maybe we need to change or get rid of, things that are stuck in us.
Yeah.
They come to like prick us and, bring out these negative energies and negative emotions and things. And so that, I mean, they even have a purpose, but when they come and stir up this depression or anxiety or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's giving you an end to say, hey, I know now that this is in here and I can do something to get it out, then why wouldn't you use every tool in your arsenal? Because as a society, we are taught to look for a quick fix for everything. You don't want to change your diet and exercise every day and get out in the sunlight. You'd rather just take a pill. Go to the doctor and take a pill. It's a quick fix. You don't have to physically do anything. Just take this pill. All the work's been done for you. But I mean, how many times does the easy road lead to the good result?
They say, well, you pay now or pay later.
Yeah.
For your diet or for your health. So we got more than enough allies and what I always tools. Like we have so many tools in our arsenal that help us, that we don't have to be reliant on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
We can see God and encounter God through all of those things. And it's so amazing that we have, diet and nutrition and incense and resin. Man, that's just a couple. That's not like our only thing. They're amazing when you get into a relationship with it, and just the feeling and what it's doing to your body. I think that leads us to something we should talk about. We talked about on the last episode, is our friends at Magic Mind sent us these awesome shots of love, energy, cognitive
little shots of
function.
magic.
Yeah, that really helped. We always talk about, like, just because of our routine and what we're doing in the mornings and stuff, and we've been taking them first thing in the morning, with our coffee while we do our Bible studies, and so helping to focus. And we're taking vitamins because it's got vitamins in it. It's got nutrients. It helps you to focus and then to be calm and not to be jittery. And it's got this like extended, like prolonged release. So it's not like this quick energy shot to stay awake. When I was a truck driver, I totally could have used these. Everybody's like hitting no-dos to try to stay awake at the wheel and stuff. And it's just crazy. I couldn't drink that stuff. Heart's racing and pounding and stuff. But like something like this, I think would have been good for me as a truck driver. And shout out, because we got a bunch of truck drivers listening to this. I get messages. People love it. They're like, dude, I'm doing what you used to do. And it's awesome. So shout out to our truck driving community. But I would have loved to have this.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because it's so good for you. It's got nootropics in it. It's got lion's mane. That's good for forming new neuro connections in your brain.
Yeah.
So any kind of study or anything you're doing that you want to form new patterns,
Yeah.
This is great to accompany that kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah, our lifestyles changed drastically in the last 5 months,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of new things that we're in relationship with, and I'll say a lot. I wouldn't even say it's a lot. It's just different things now
Mm-hmm.
that are a part of our daily routine and daily regimen, and so getting the right nutrients and vitamins and the mushrooms and all of the stuff from, we're talking about frankincense and sage and all of the stuff that, the mushrooms that this drink has, and it has the vitamins, and we take our vitamins every day, and it's got turmeric in it, and we take turmeric every day. Like a part of our daily dose of what we take is already in here.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, like, we take our vitamins and stuff like separately,
Yeah.
but now we've got them all in one place.
Yeah, because we're buying all these. We have vitamin C, vitamin D,
K.
vitamin K, turmeric, and then I wanted to get some of the supplements for the lion's mane. There's a
Yeah.
guy here locally that sells lion's mane, and but
Yep.
he's like a good hour drive away. So we try to hit it when we're
Yeah.
nearby, and we just haven't worked it out. But I mean, this has got that in there. It's got lion's mane. It's got cordyceps. It's just like an amazing little um, mind performance shot.
Mm-hmm.
Everything all in one, your vitamins and focus and a little
Yeah.
bit of caffeine. And the green tea that he puts in here, it helps your body absorb the caffeine over time so you don't have that spike and then feel like crap
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. They have a no risk money back guarantee that if you try it and you don't like it, you can get your money back. No questions asked.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, they believe in their product and we believe in it just as much to say, go check it out because you're going to love it.
Yeah, you're not going to want your money back.
I mean, so many people who are working from home now and have a problem focusing,
Mm-hmm.
go check them out. The link is in the description. You can go to the website for Magic Mind, and we have a promo code that will give you 20% off of a one-time purchase, and I think it was like 48% off of a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, risk-free, money-back guarantee. Go try it. Use our promo code, and hopefully they'll keep sending us more because it's
Yeah.
amazing.
We'll make sure the link's in the description. This stuff's awesome. They grow the mushrooms organically in California. They source out everything from the highest quality. I know that their matcha is the highest grade available for purchase. They really made a superior product, and it does what they say. And that's why they have the money back guarantee, because they know once you
Yeah,
try
if
it,
you
you're
do
going to
it,
want more.
there are people who will do that, but I'm telling you, they're just a hater. Like,
Yeah.
they're just gonna do, hey, I can get something free. You just want a freebie. Like, you buy it and then try to get it back. Like, you're not gonna want to. Like, if you like, when you pay for this, you're gonna want to sign up for the subscription.
And I want to say we noticed a difference on like day 2 or 3. It did
I
not take
noticed it.
long.
I noticed as soon as we took it, though. I mean, that's
Yeah.
yeah. You like imbibe it and it integrates with you of
Mm-hmm.
like, because your whole mood over a span of, like, I think it's like a 7-day thing, or 7 to 10 days or whatever, to drink it. It just changes the way that you feel, like, in general.
Yeah.
It's just like, it just gives you a boost, like, and but I mean, as soon as I took it, like, you can feel the benefits then, but
Mm-hmm.
then, I don't know. It's just, I love it. So,
Yeah.
how about cheers?
Cheers.
Magic Mind.
And they say you should chill it, but I don't think you have to. I
It's
kind of like
good.
it the way it is.
Sharper mind, lower stress, better energy. Again, we take this usually with our Bible studies first thing, but since we were doing a podcast, we're like, let's wait, let's drink it on camera and show everybody.
Yeah.
Because we really love it, and we think you guys will too. There's going to be a bunch of stuff that we're going to be promoting. Again, we talked about the incense and the resin and all of the stuff that those guys sent us is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
you were about to cry.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that
It brought tears to my eyes for
that's
sure.
crazy?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's awesome, but
I know I'm weird. It's okay.
no, it's awesome. It's cool because we get emotional over burning incense.
Yeah. Well, even like the last podcast we did, we talked about when you give something a meaning
Mhm.
that doesn't have meaning. Like, a lot of people could get that and and burn it ritualistically and not mean the same thing. But for me, it has a deeper meaning, and it's just very, very emotional and spiritual. And
Yeah.
yeah, it touches me here.
Yeah. I mean, just because there's levels to it, because we were content with Amazon bought frankincense. It's good. We love it. Like it's, oh yeah, spiritual, awesome. But then it's like I feel like God's like, hey, we got some people we want you to meet who
Yeah, it was
are in
totally God.
relationship and know the angels that you guys are talking about and you guys are teaching people about. Now that we just tested you to make sure that you like the knockoff, Amazon resin, whatever it is, because it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, because it's not the same thing. And we're going to introduce you to this.
Well, there's several different strains too. Once you start studying frankincense and the boswellia trees that it comes from, there's several different trees. And like I said, this one that they harvest from, the boswellia sacra, was created and cultivated only for sacred purposes.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll have all that stuff. We're gonna if we believe in something, man, we're gonna share it. Like, and that's weird too. Somebody said that recently, but it's been a meme over years for people like trying to hide the good stuff. Like they don't
Yeah.
want to tell you about the good stuff or how you can become successful or something. Like there is a scarcity mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who it was, but somebody brought it up recently and was just like blown away that we're like giving away all of our resources and plugs and stuff like that. It's like
We don't operate out of a lack mentality anymore. Like when you realize that there is no such thing as lack, this is just something that you create. Abundance is everywhere. And a friend of mine shared this today on Facebook that abundance is all around you. It's you that creates the limitation. So when you realize that and remove the limitation, what's the fear?
Yeah.
The only fear is like, oh my gosh, everyone's going to have this awesome tool, this awesome experience. And that's not a fear, that's a hope.
Yeah. And it comes full circle. I do it in hopes of that. I feel like I've projected some in the past with my friends, but of like how to, start a podcast or let's do this or how to do this with music. And they, I don't know if they, I would say that they didn't ask, but they did. And you just want to help.
Yeah.
Because I want somebody to help me. Like if you're starting a podcast or you say, man, I want to do this. I want to quit working my job. I wish I can stay at home and make music. Guess what? You can, sir. I love to stay at home and make music. You can. I love to stay at home and do. You can. As long as you're showing up and you do something that you love, I really wish that everybody could do that. And I always would say everybody deserves to do what they love. But the deserve is a strange word to say that you deserve. You don't deserve it if you don't go get it. If you go get it, then the deserving is going to meet you.
Yeah.
And you're going to get it. There is no deserve. You went and got it. You worked for it. Nobody gave it to you. So somebody else will make excuses and say, well, you were this and you had this and you had that in your favor going for you. And man, listen, them are just, when we talk about demons, getting demons out, and what they are, those are demons that tell you that.
It goes back to that same mindset of wanting a quick fix and want somebody to do it for you.
It's an ungodly belief.
Everything you want is there. You just have to get it. You have to go get it. And you're putting that limitation on yourself that somebody had a different circumstance. They had better circumstances than me. They had more support than me.
We done heard it all. And we said them all.
Yeah.
That's how we know. There's no opinion. We know this. We've seen it happen and done too many times on both sides.
Yeah.
Those beliefs that enabled people and those beliefs that hindered and stopped people dead in their tracks, because it's a voice that speaks. It's a voice that tells you. It's been telling you your whole life. Get back in line. Remember, we used to get out of line in school because we were cut up when we was like even in elementary and stuff, and playing around. Get in line. You guys are not in line. Get back in single file line. And you still hear that voice the moment you get out of line of what is normal, of what everyone else is doing, what your family's doing. You had to work through it, and your family may have not even have said certain things, but the voice in your head tells you
Yeah.
these words in the tone of your family, what they would say or what they might say, and it puts your butt in check
Yeah.
so that you don't get out of line, because you don't want that teacher yelling at you, Derek, get in line. Until you're like, hold on, I'm forming a new line. We made our own line of clothing. You should check it out. No.
And it's fun too when you get back to that place when you have manifested all this abundance and you're doing what you love, and then it starts to show on paper and they're like, dang, I'm
Yeah.
really proud of you. You're doing really good here.
Yeah. We done seen that too many
Because it's
times.
like they didn't believe it was possible, you know?
What does Derek do for a living? He sells drugs. What? How does he? He's got a podcast. You can't make it big with a pod. You can do anything with the podcast. You know what you have to do? Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep showing up.
Yeah.
You can't just do a pod. I tried a podcast. No, ain't no tried. How many episodes you got?
Yeah. Consistency.
I tried to, put meditations together and sell them. And how many did you do? I tried to write. I wrote a song. I put a song out. Nobody listened. How many songs? You get better at it the further you go.
Mm-hmm.
You do.
None of it's easy.
Mm-mm.
I mean, if they could only see like how many settings we had to go through on the cameras and the lights and the moving this 1 degree this way, and like it's not easy. You have to want it and you have to work for it.
It's how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And shoot, I want it bad, and then how many times I still want to quit. Man, damn this podcast. We're gonna do it tomorrow, But it's how bad do you want it? Nobody's gonna do it for you.
Right.
So, paying attention to the voices that speak and where they're speaking from, so that you can learn the voice of the accuser and the voice of Christ, because the scriptures say that you hear my voice and my sheep follow me. A stranger's voice they will not follow. So if it's the voice that's always beating you up, putting you back in place, and not calling you up higher and trying to encourage you, you know quickly what the voices are that are speaking, and you can key in on the good one.
Yeah.
You can key in on the good one, and it will lead you everywhere you need to be. And I think that everything we've mentioned with the, fumigation and frankincense and all that kind of stuff, it all helps, because with your mindset, the way you feel, longevity.
Yeah. And that voice, the other voice, it's not all bad. Sometimes it encourages you to do things that you would think is bad. But it always comes from a place of trying to protect you or do something good for you. Like, well, maybe not always, but for instance, like the one that tells you don't try to do that because you're going to fail. Like, it's coming from a place of trying to protect you.
Yeah.
But it's also a test that you have to rise above and say, thanks, but no thanks. I've got it. You can go rest. You can go sit down somewhere. I don't need the animal voice right now. I need to listen to the spirit voice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, the ego thing, and it's good and bad. It always checks you. And, we want to call people higher, and, we've been dealing with that a lot lately as we're being called higher.
Yeah.
And we're living our truth. There was a comment on one of my videos, and somebody, it's a weird thing. People don't like that term. When people say your truth, you know what I'm saying? Live your truth. Live your truth. Like what you like. And they were like, they said, there is no your truth. There's only the truth. This is how, and then the person, I think, graciously wanted to know, they like, hey, what do you mean when you say that? Because we know there's one truth, and it's Jesus. Like, what do you mean your truth and my truth is different than your truth, or whatever? What do you mean? I mean, it's your belief systems.
Yeah.
Because it becomes true for you. If it's true for nobody else, the Bible says that whatsoever a man believeth in his heart, so shall he be. So according to your belief, according to your faith, it will be done unto you. So if you believe that all things are possible to him that believe, then they are. Yeah. Don't matter if I believe in it or not. That's your truth. Well, I think you should have, I think the judge should have, not pardoned you. I think, but that's not the truth, and it's definitely not your truth because he didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's an opinion, and so these opinions that people are giving about other people's beliefs or other people's truths, that's their truth. That's
Yeah.
not the truth. So it's always like convenient for the person to say, like, how convenient is it that your truth is always the truth? That's why they pull
Yeah.
your truth out,
Mm-hmm.
because their truth is the truth.
Yeah.
So there is no their truth. Oh, I just believe in the truth,
Yeah.
God. And so the moment you just try to get clear on their truth, you find out, okay, those are beliefs and opinions. That isn't the truth.
Well, it goes back to that one person having all the answers, and every person who is unaware of the fact that there is no one truth. It is your truth, that you're kind of making yourself God, saying, no, my truth is the only truth.
Yeah.
Like, that's putting yourself in the place of God, because even when Christ came, he asked more questions than he gave answers.
Yeah.
Like, we're not supposed to have it all figured out. We're supposed to be on a journey.
It's your relationship with the truth. So yeah, Jesus is the truth. It's absolute truth.
Yeah.
Like if you follow it along, it'll stem from a place. The facetious thing is you pretending you know it. You know it, and
Yeah.
all of the routes and roads to that truth.
Right.
That's the pride of like.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess unless you've been up several of them and made it back down to the same starting point, then you don't know. I don't know what it is that, obviously experience and grace and humility get you there. But,
Yeah.
I can agree on, like, there is truth. But beyond, that's just your perception and your relationship with the truth of
Mm-hmm.
an aspect or an emanation anyway.
Yeah, because Christ, like we already said, I mean, he's in all and through all. And their truth is you can only have a relationship with Christ if you pray to the image of the white guy with the brown hair and the little robe on. But then my truth is I had an encounter with Christ in the deepest parts of my being, where he showed me that he is in everything: the sun, the plants, the air, the sky, the mushrooms, the water, everything. He permeates everything. So I can have a relationship with Christ through everything, through
And
the
those
breath.
and those people would say, no, you can't.
Yeah. That's your truth. That's not the truth.
And I said, yeah. So that's how quickly you learn. Just have a differing of opinion with somebody who thinks that they have the truth.
But it's okay to say, I salute you. That's what you believe. I salute you. That's your truth. It's okay to say that. Like, don't demonize other people's truth.
And it's okay for you to have your own absolutes, man.
Yeah.
Like the things that are bringing you comfort and bringing you, like, helping you, man, make them absolutes in your life, as long as it's
Mm-hmm.
not hurting nobody or hurting yourself.
You'll know all things by the fruit. It's so easy to tell is the fruit that it bears in someone's life.
But trust me, those absolutes are subject to change.
Yeah.
That's how you know there is no the truth. The
Yeah.
moment you call them an absolute, maybe you shouldn't. I don't want to encourage that. You have things that you hold in higher regard.
Yeah.
Say, I know this. This is now.
Because, like I said,
And then
even
next
that
week, here you are
absolute,
singing a different song. It's like,
yeah, the absolute thing that you absolutely totally believe you can be revealed to you on a deeper level later. Like, that was me in Christ. I always saw him in the persona of a human until he came to me and showed me otherwise. And now I have this deeper, wider revelation of him.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't negate the thing that I believed before.
Mm-mm.
It just increased my belief.
Well, I mean, shoot, almost everything has been that way for me with studying. Most times those are people who don't study, because this is what they say, that a wise person, a scientist, a philosopher will read hundreds of books, thousands of books, and still know that they don't know anything, because the vastness of information and the things they're into, there's so much to learn every day. And then some of these people we're talking about will read one book and claim to be experts and know-it-alls. That's the difference here, where those who know don't speak, and those who speak don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
just how it
true.
is. I mean, but hey, let them talk.
So something else that people have always thought they know the truth on is UFOs. For many years, like, everybody thought it was nuts and bolts, like a metal a metal saucer, because that's kind of what most of the imagery was. And now the government's coming out and saying that they have, you know, that yes, it exists. Yes, it's a lot of times they'll say it's their own technology. They were doing testings or trainings or whatever. And then when you start looking for the UFOs, a lot of times they don't look like metal nuts and bolts. They look more like living beings.
Yeah. And I don't know how much of that is public. I knew early on, when the UFO stuff started to be mainstream, when the China UFO, the China
Yeah.
balloons and all that was, they were covering, the news was covering. When the news is covering, something's going on.
Uh-huh.
They
Yeah.
they just gonna they're not gonna speak on anything unless they can spin the narrative to the
Yeah.
mass of the population, in a way that's gonna benefit them. Not that's gonna benefit the people, but it's gonna benefit them. And so once they start talking about it, we were like excited because we like been into this for a minute, had our own experiences. We want, a higher up to say something. They're not, once you know that. But there was some of these briefings that certain senators and stuff were a part of, and they came out kind of like shocked.
Yeah.
And I knew what was talked about because the guy would come out shocked, and they're like, Senator, what can you tell us about the UFOs? And one from like each district or whatever, and they're like, just make sure, lock your doors, lock your doors. That's what
Yeah.
he said. The old man come out saying lock your doors, and he was hip. So it's like, hold on, they debriefed him on something that's scared him, and he doesn't, maybe told him not to talk about it, or doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
how to talk about it, or what. um but it's all of the nuts and bolts stuff started being mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
The footage from 2004 that they released of the Tic Tac UFO.
Yeah.
And that's, you see how fast that thing travels. Man, this stuff that we know exists out there, you could not track it on a radar.
Right.
That one it like disappears. Oh, there it is. We got it. It went from here to here, like in so respect. You would not be able to. The thing could like, it travels faster than light,
Mm-hmm.
than thought. And it's insane. Your mind can't even comprehend how fast it travels, which is what blows my mind away.
Yeah, because you think about how fast a plane travels, like super fast, because it
Yeah.
has to, because it's so heavy, and to keep the velocity, to keep it airborne, it has to travel so fast. But when you see one in the sky, it's going like really, really slow
Mm-hmm.
because of the distance
Yeah.
and the perspective.
Yeah.
So if you're seeing something that's up that high or higher, and it's traveling so fast you can barely track it, like there's no way to even measure how fast these things are going.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's, the nuts and bolts thing of how can a human, or how can a physical entity, and maybe there's ways, maybe there's a membrane around them, how they can travel, because it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
That's what gets us into the conversation of UFOs being demons, because there's certain people who it only can be one thing. So
Mhm.
there's the truth thing.
Yeah.
You want to know the truth about UFOs? Well, they're demons. They're not space travelers, because I have cognitive dissonance that only lets me go up so far,
Right.
and I have a firmament that doesn't allow me to get out. So now anything that you see, read, or hear, you're not, it has to be this one way, because your belief won't let you go any further than that. So with in the news, Tucker Carlson, was talking to Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a couple people have kind of let a few things slip and slide out, who are scientists and researchers and those things, and notable people.
He was a journalist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said that he has, he thinks they're spiritual. Just some of the things that they're doing, again, how they're traveling. How can something travel that fast? How can something appear in two places at once? How can something, morph, and, all of these things and feats that they're doing, and all of these other reasons that he has. And he's like, they're spiritual. And in his opinion, they're demonic in nature. Just whatever reasoning that he has behind that, or whatever. But you don't hear people talk about what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That what if they're angelic in nature? If they can be demons, can't they be angels?
Well, if the war is not against flesh and blood, it's in the heavenly realms, it's
Mm-hmm.
in the spirit realm. Who are they warring against? It's not all angelic that's out there. There could be both. It could be angels and demons out there
Right?
traveling.
Yeah, and that's what, when it comes to the demon things, it's so weird because they think the fallen angels did something. You call them fallen angels for a reason, because they fell. They were kicked out of the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
They were banned. Don't come back here again until you learn your lesson. You're too wicked. You cannot be up here trying to usurp authority, and you can't be up here. So you are cast to the earth as lightning to the earth, and so you fell. So fallen angels fell. They were kicked out of the heavens. So when you see something flying around the heavens, the what is it? The word shamayim, which is the heavens in Hebrew. Fallen angels fell out of the heavens. So why are they flying around in the heavens?
Yeah.
So the Bible calls the sky the heavens. And I don't know why it's the first thing when people look up and see something flying through the heavens, their mind says demon. There's a demon flying in the heavens. And there's maybe one scripture, that says something like that Satan is the prince of the air. So he sees the air and his princes are flying around the air. And their mind defaults to demons. So what about their mind defaulting to something good? Or just saying, what if
Yeah.
they could be angels?
Yeah. My mind defaults to the good. I've only ever felt that feeling that gets stirred up when I see stuff like that. Oh,
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
the magical feeling.
Yeah, it's not a fear or any kind of a like. I know how I feel when I encounter the demonic, and it's not that feeling.
Right? Yeah, there's a different energy in the
Mm-hmm.
room.
Yeah.
Now, if you've ever been a part of a demonic, have you ever been a part of watching a demonic movie on television?
Yeah, you can go to a family member's house dealing with demons, and you leave just you feel it.
Yeah, the atmosphere is charged with a different energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that's how I knew too. I was scared at first before I started having my experiences with those things in the air. My mind was, I started researching this from the demonic.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I feel like I got a one up as far as that goes, because I've been on both sides so that I can have a contrast.
Right.
Like literally with, spirituality and witchcraft and stuff. We started in the dark side.
Right.
We started with Satanism and
Really dark.
witchcraft, and we started with demons.
Yeah.
And 2000, we dedicated our life to Christ and renounced all of that. And God showed us what's possible with his kingdom, with the beauty, with the love, and with the light. Far outweighs anything that, is available on the other side. And in our studies with ufology, I studied under all the Christian guys first. And howbeit that all the Christian guys are all under the consensus that they're demons, like hands down. Hands down. And I had to go outside of Christianity because it's like they had an agenda. They wouldn't even like consider anything else because there was cognitive dissonance that aliens or UFOs were demons. There was no considering what if. They wouldn't even have it. So that's what led me to researchers such as Jordan Maxwell or maybe David Icke and Stephen Greer, just people who were having a broader conversation that I was locked out of from Christianity, from Christendom.
Yeah.
And which allowed me to have a bigger conversation, but still there was fear there for me to go out and eventually want to pray under the stars and make contact and ask God to show me. God, do you have angels out there that are flying around watching over us? Like, are they traveling through the stars or through portals in the heavens, or like,
Yeah.
and if so, can I see one? And it was the feeling. I was hesitant, scared because you could get abducted.
Yeah.
You could be asking for a demon to come get you. That was always in the back of my head. It probably somewhat still is, just because that's how programming works. You don't forget about those movies you watched.
Yeah.
And but then when you ask, and the Bible says that if you believe, you'll receive anything you ask for in prayer.
And God said, who among you, if you ask your father for bread, he would give you a stone?
That's the scripture I hung on,
Yeah.
because I had like, remember Joey Amaker, for one. He told me, he was like, "Hey man, because I didn't have nobody to talk to,
Right.
and I was like, hey man, I'm going out, like trying to make contact, man. He's like, hey man, be careful. And he was the one that was like warning me
Yeah.
of like demon stuff. And I thought he would be one to say, like encourage it or whatever. He was like, the Christian came out of him, and he didn't consider himself a Christian.
Yeah.
He's like, hey man, be careful. Could be a demon, man. You don't want to just use caution.
Yeah.
And that's what people say when they don't know, and they're scared too. But there's a reason we're all scared, because somebody taught us to be.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started seeing them, the feeling of awe and wonder and inspiration that is imparted through a sighting, by saying, "How are you up there, God? If the angels are up there, if the Malachim, the Elohim, if the ones who watch over us and protect us, if they, whoever has our greatest good in mind, Father, if they're up there, can I see them?"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they light up and shoot across the sky and do stuff. Like, come on, the feeling that's imparted, the atmosphere is charged. It changes.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like a little kid again. You feel like a kid on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
What if you could feel like that every day?
Yes, you can.
Right?
Yeah. It's awesome.
And it was for me, it was, it's been years now, going out a lot of hours in the darkness under the moon, looking into the sky, looking for lights and stuff. And then um I remember telling you about it. And this is years ago. Telling you, and I was kind of scared to tell you because it's silly. Like, I'm seeing these things, they come
Yeah.
to me or whatever, and we go outside, and I raise my hands and I pray and I ask for God to show us and to show you.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you saw like a little blink, or at
Yeah.
least you said you did.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I think I saw one. It was just like the little spot, the little out the corner of your eye, you see one
Mm-hmm.
light up. You're like, oh, I saw one as soon as you prayed. And it was like, okay. It was like just enough for the time, but it was years ago. But then recently, after your, double dip in the awakening and going deeper, we were just laying in the backyard on a
Oh yeah.
cool, cool January night, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was January. You wanna share that, like, from your,
Yeah.
because it's awesome.
So we were really just like blissed out. I was still super high on the Holy Spirit from my transformation, my healing, and I still am. But like we were just laying out in the cool, in the dark, looking at the stars. And I think we were talking about experiences and seeing stuff. And I was like, well, let's just try to manifest one now. Let's see if we can make it happen. And so we stirred up our emotion. We were so grateful and showing gratitude, and just prayed to God that if our angels and our helpers are up there, if He would allow us to see them, we would be totally grateful. And if not, we're still totally grateful. Like just staying in that mindset of gratitude. And, you know, I don't need it. I don't need a sign to believe, but it would be really cool if you could show us if they're up there. And we just started praying and kind of praying in tongues. And
We picked where we wanted to.
yeah, we picked where we wanted it, and we picked near Rigel, which is a star in the Orion constellation. And so we just started focusing our minds and our eyes towards that area and praying and staying in that attitude of gratitude. And right above the star that we named and picked out, two bright lights, it powered up out of nowhere, and they were together right beside each other. They powered up, they traveled down to Rigel, the star that we named, and they faded away. Like, it wasn't like a shooting star. I don't know how to describe it other than the way I just did, but that it was an incredible manifestation that we prayed and opened our hearts, and it happened. We saw it. It was, and we were there together. So that was cool too. That it was not like, oh, I think I'm making things up. I think I'm going crazy. Like, because we both saw the exact same thing
Mm-hmm.
happen at the exact same time. And it was just an incredible experience
Mm-hmm.
that we shared, and really uplifting, and increased the gratitude, increased the feelings
Mm-hmm.
of pleasantness.
Yeah.
And
No, it was no, that was a cool experience, and it was cool because like that was like one of the first big ones that I had. Um, was years ago driving the truck, and I would try to hurry up and get my truck loaded for work early and leave the warehouse. Like I think one day I left the warehouse at like 3:30 a.m. and then it takes about an hour to get to Pensacola, and I was going east, and so I stopped at the there's a hill right there in Milton, right over the water with this gas station, and you can overlook the lake there and stuff, and it's dark. There wasn't open yet, so I'd get there and there was nobody there, and I'm just out, and there's something about it with the coolness
yeah.
of the day or the coolness of the night that just adds this extra layer, you know, of just awesomeness.
Mm-hmm.
And the wind was blowing, and it was cool, and I was just looking up and praying and naming all the constellations that I knew, because I'm like trying to learn the stars and the planets and constellations. Still am, but I'd look at it's Orion, it's Betelgeuse, there's Mars, there's Vega, there's the Pleiades, there's that, you know, and there's little things that I know, and I'm just worshiping God, like talking to God. I had just wrote the song "Awesome God," me and Anthony Cummins, and I was singing it to the Lord as I'm naming it. My God is an awesome God. Whoa, you're an awesome God. We lift you up. You're an awesome God. We lift you up. We lift you up. And I'm just looking awe and wonder like a little kid expecting to see. And then I look up at Orion, and then I look away, and Orion was like directly above my head. And I look at it, I look away, and then I see Orion here. I was like, hold on. There's like two Orions in the sky. What the heck? And as soon as in my mind I said, hold on, wait a minute, what the heck? I turned and I looked back at the other Orion, and one was Orion and one wasn't. One had two other stars like lined up with Orion's belt, but
Mm-hmm.
just below it. So they were on both sides of Regal, and they were like stationary. I said, that's not Orion because that is. And all of a sudden they lit up even brighter the moment I like gave the acknowledgement, like, hey, something, they
Mm-hmm.
got really big, bright, powered up, and then just took off flying real slow into Orion, kind of zigzagging just a little bit. And I'm like, oh my God, what the heck? This is amazing. I'm trying to like fumble for my phone. I'm trying to film it, and then I'm looking away, and then it's gone. As soon as it starts, it's over,
Yeah.
you know. But I thought it was so cool because that was like one of my first like really awesome encounters, and then how it was like the same space, and it was
Yeah.
two lights that were positioned with Regal or Rig L or whatever, that star.
Yeah.
And how, because I think I mentioned to you about it, like
Uh-huh.
there's something about like we get to charge the atmosphere with these stories. So maybe people listening right now, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, some people are they may be skeptic and like, oh, he's lying, man, it could have been this. Cool. But other people are like, oh man, I want to see that. I want to see that. That'd be amazing. Or they have seen it
Mm-hmm.
or something similar. So it's lighting a different fire. So the atmosphere like in them and around them is being charged by hearing a story and reliving it or hearing it for the first time and building expectation and stuff. So we were doing that as I was like sharing with you. Like I remember my first time, my first looking up at this star, and you're like, let's try to do it again.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, where do you want to focus? Because there was other stars that even call out to us and stuff. It's different, you know, uh, your zodiac sign. You know, why don't we look there? Because maybe that's where you should look. If that's where you're from, maybe you should look. But you said, let's focus here, and we did, and we asked from that place,
Mm-hmm.
and then flew in,
Yeah. It was incredible.
and
I
Yeah,
might not believe it if I didn't experience it. I
I know.
mean,
Yeah,
it's hard to believe.
you probably shouldn't though. You know, all of this stuff's hard to believe, and even seeing isn't even believing.
Yeah.
Because you want to go through and say, okay, what could have that been? You want to count out like everything first. I always say that as a skeptic. I'm a skeptic, but I've got all the stories. Isn't that funny? It's like, okay, is everything a UFO? Mm-mm. I'm trying to disprove myself so that I know that what I'm encountering is legit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my truth. My truth, because you could totally apply it.
Yeah.
You can apply my truth. I saw a UFO. That was a satellite, dude. That was Starlink. It was Starlink. Nope, it was a UFO. God sent. So that's how your truth works. But I wanna be sure, because I don't want to be out here, signaling satellites
Yeah.
and thinking I had you know, an encounter or saw the real thing. And if you keep that heart where you are a skeptic just because you want to encounter or you want to know for sure, that you're invited into the real,
Mm-hmm.
because you get past this layer of fake, because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I didn't see it, I'm gone. I mean, what? We only been out here 30 minutes. What you mean you're gone?
Yeah.
I thought you really wanted to see.
It goes back to you don't want it bad enough.
I do want to see, but I need to go to bed. Oh, you don't want to see.
Yeah.
We're not from the same place. Like
Yeah.
I'm from the place where like we grew up, we knew crackheads. What were they willing to do
Right.
to get the thing they wanted?
Yeah.
They're the all night adventure trying to score drugs. Like, hold on, I'm on an all night adventure trying to say hello to the lights in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
How bad do you want it? You don't want it bad enough.
Yep.
That's a crazy analogy, but it fits. Like who's hungry for the thing? How bad do you want it? You don't want it.
Yeah.
They want it. I want it.
Yeah.
I wanted it, and I still want it.
Yeah.
Because just as much as I stayed out there, in the night, finding anomalies and things, we started going out there seeing stuff in the day. So now we're just that whole thing I was locked out of in my mind, that you can see them, you can only see them at night.
Yeah.
Because the lights, you see them travel as lights.
That was your truth.
Was it the truth?
Nope.
It was my truth.
Yeah. And it was valid.
I don't. There wasn't anywhere else that I could go. I couldn't even go to the Bible and get that truth because my mind wasn't open to it. I had a
Yeah.
firmament that kept me from going beyond nighttime craft.
Yeah.
So you can't see this stuff during the day until
you do.
you can. Yeah.
So, what unlocked it for you where you were able to see things during the day? Like, what changed for you?
I mean, I had seen them during the day over the years eventually, but it was a little bit more, I felt like it was rare. So, I've had my first daytime. So I have had experiences just driving the truck and gazing into the sky and stuff during the day. But what really changed it was like how dominant they are, or how prevalent they are. Being able to see them, during the day was the experience that I had. I know it's been 2 years ago now, where we were pumping gas at the gas station, and I just happened to be pumping gas, and we were parked under the awning, and the sun was hid like just barely because of the awning, and maybe I hid it just a little bit to keep the sun from reflecting on me as I'm pumping gas on a warm day. And as I look up at the sun, because I'm always looking, like I always got one eye looking at the sky, and I saw like the shooting, like UFO, like same things you see at night, just real fast, but during the day, oh wow, there was one, wow, that's cool, that's awesome, thank you Lord. And I'm just kind of still looking, and then another one, oh two, wow, when you see two, maybe there's three. And so I stick my head out and look, and then I started seeing them like everywhere, and like flying all around the sun, like this crazy anomaly, and started seeing them everywhere, and different kinds, and traveling at different speeds and stuff, and And I'm like, oh my God. And I started yelling at you. I was like, Aaron, come see.
Hmm.
Come here. You was in the passenger seat. I was like, go see these UFOs. And you came out and you looked up and you saw something, right? And
Yeah.
saw kind of weird things, bugs, whatever they
I don't
are.
know. I call them wispies now, but
Yeah.
I couldn't see past them then. Like I only saw
Yeah.
it looked like dust or
Yeah.
like little dandelion fluffs or something
Mm-hmm.
coming off the roof of the gas station or a little higher. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were lower down, but there were lots of them.
Yeah.
And they were, I don't know. I couldn't look past them. I was like, are you talking about that? Are you talking about the puffs, like the dust stuff? And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, no, no, look higher. And I never could see them that day.
Yeah. But that was like the first time, and we saw that, and I'm like, what is it? And then we ended up going home, and I spent the rest of the day
Yeah.
filming and getting binoculars and just seeing how I can see them and see what they were. And like there was stuff parked like right next to the sun, so hard to see. Like you had to be able to hide the sun
Hmm.
to be able to see next to the sun without the corona of the sun damaging your eyes with binoculars,
Yeah.
um, or just being able to see it. And so filming it and then going back dissecting the footage and slowing it down and then having my mind blown like what the heck.
Hmm.
Like for me that day was so um monumental
Yeah.
that I thought it was going to be all over the news.
Hmm.
Like I thought all over there was going to be people reporting on these UFOs or whatever, something major, and then
Yeah.
nothing about it. So you know I started getting stuff like on camera and then being able to see other kind of anomalies as you turn the different gradients and the gamma down on the camera, and how it revealed other things that were traveling and stationary and all kinds of stuff going on, that if you would look at it differently, if you would look deeper, or you could see into the light, you could see more. So that's what changed it for me, of being like every day. Because the next day I'm like going out.
Hmm.
Eventually, I just had too much footage, but
Yeah.
it's then experimenting with how do you get better footage, and so now I'm working on a course on how to do this. It's almost done.
Yeah.
It's almost done. I just need to finish it up. I'm paying attention to too many details to finish
Hmm.
it up, and I just need to go ahead and put it out as it is, and then maybe add to it because
Yeah.
I've got like a step-by-step process on how to film,
Hmm.
how to use your cell phone, um, and then how to put it into the computer editing programs, and then what do you do once you get in there? And that's one of the things where we're talking about how fast these things travel.
Hmm.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah. And then you'll see like a bigger blob, like a dark
Yeah,
blob, come and eat the ones that you're watching, and like
it's
there's so much crazy stuff you can see if you just follow like your little tutorial is so helpful because like all about computers and I know a little bit, but I wouldn't know enough to how to do that
yeah,
without somebody helping me.
and it's hard for me because I had to it's hard for me to dumb all of this down, and it's like, plug your USB into the computer. Now go to this folder and drag, but it's really just documenting, like just slow down.
Well, some people don't know how to
Exactly.
do
It
that.
has to be done,
Yeah.
and it's a disservice not to do it. But
Yeah.
I mean, ever since like uploading those first videos, um, the response has been insane.
Mm.
The response has been amazing.
Yeah.
Like people who following my work and stuff are like, they're going out doing it,
Yeah.
and they're just some of the funny video that like their commentary is funny.
Yeah.
Oh shit, True Seeker. Oh shit, I see him, man. You were right. True Seeker was right. Like on camera, I'm like, I need to save this because this is a great promo for the course.
Right.
You were right, man. I see him, and he's like getting them on camera and stuff,
Yeah.
and then like, you know, positioning people in different places and other people with different cameras and different frame rates.
Hmm.
So now when the government's releasing their UFO nuts and bolts, yes, they're nuts and bolts. No,
No, not
you
the stuff we see.
it's too prevalent, and it's too prevalent to have to fake anything.
Yeah.
To There's so much real out there, and just go in as a skeptic, like go in as like thinking that it could be dust or bugs, until you see like something that does something that a dust particle nor a bug does.
Yeah.
And write it off, because that's how we get to the truth. That's the process of elimination, that
Right.
you saw an angel. You
Mm-hmm.
saw the beings that hold this space-time continuum together.
Yeah.
They're working while you sleep so that you can breathe clean air. Like, we don't know the implications of of all of it.
Right.
To think that, any of us have it all figured out, we're only privy to so much. And there's a lot of things going on, and the government does have their hand in on a bunch of this stuff, especially hiding it,
Oh yeah.
especially covering it up. It's like clockwork. I can almost, like a
Yeah.
prophet can go out and say, in 10 minutes the sky will be dark,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like clockwork,
Do you
all of
remember
the
even the day that
chemtrails.
we like went out that night and we manifested and showed gratitude and saw those two angels? I think I'm
No,
gonna
for
call them
sure,
angels.
for sure.
Uh,
The,
right after that, like three or four, like planes and helicopters, they all were coming out of the woodwork. I remember that because we
yeah,
went in not long after that because it was absurd how many helicopters and planes came out
yeah,
right after that
yep.
happened.
No, we've had encounters with the helicopters and crazy stuff. Like, I they try to cover it up, and a lot of times they talk about black helicopters showing up to do, like, to intimidate people. But my story. Not
Oh
many people
yeah.
do. But I had, we were camping, me and two friends, who we went out to camp to make contact, to go out and make contact, and we documented the whole thing. And we had a friend there who had never seen, and he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to, and so we go camping close to the Indian land in Atmore, Alabama, and went with intention and fasting and stuff. And then we're playing music, playing djembe and guitar and singing and just like meditating, doing so just trying to connect. And we don't know how to connect. We're just trying
Mm-hmm.
and praying and stuff. And then all of a sudden, within like an hour, I forgot how many we counted, but I think it was like 24 or something that we saw, just like all like going the same direction for like an hour straight. Just this amazing sighting for an hour straight. And then it was cut off, no more after that. And we woke up the next morning while camping to a helicopter hovering directly above us right after sunrise, and it was down low to the ground, something out of a movie,
Mm-hmm.
where like the you could feel the wind from the propellers, and our tent was like blowing, and there was a bar going across the front, and the guy was spraying stuff on us. He was spraying like chemical on us, laughing. And we were looking at him like, "Hey, what's going on? What the hell, man?" He's like laughing at us and spraying us with chemical. We're like, "What the hell is going on?" And we were like, you could smell it
Yeah.
in the air. It's like chemicals. Like, what the? So we're like, man, we trying to hurry up and get our stuff and get it in the car without trying to breathe it as much as we could, fast as we could, just to roll our stuff up, jump in the car, and take off. And the guy was going back and forth like from us, and he'd go to another spot and like dump out a bunch of fluid, and then he'd come back to us and turn the bar on and circle right above us and spray us. We're like, what the hell is this? So I don't know what connection your mind just wanders. I can't say for sure. Yeah, they knew that we were summoning UFOs, and we opened a portal and they wanted to see who did. I'd have no idea what was going on. I don't know if some crazy person who works for the county and sprays, you know, crop duster over. Well, this was a campsite.
Mm-hmm.
It was very strange. But yeah, a lot of people talk about intimidation and stuff like that that happens. I know what's his name? Christopher, um, the UFO of God guy. He talks about them showing up, and so many more people. James Gilliland, anybody who's like gone out and be able to do the spiritual work to where like you start attracting them.
Mm-hmm.
And like we talk about like portals opening up in the sky and stuff like that. But what if you are the portal? And
Yeah.
what if you are the one who believes it just enough and ask for help and want to know that our angels are out there, that we're gonna be okay, those kind of things. And then they start popping in because you called upon them and you asked them.
Mm-hmm.
And I can give you many Bible scriptures and stories about how, they are there. You just can't see them until they want you to see them, or
Yeah.
they allow you to see them because you want to.
Yeah, I remember the day I was able to see the ones in the daytime, like you were talking about, was at work at the
Mm.
barn, and it was about the 11 o'clock hour. And we have a ramp where the patients go up to mount the horse. It's a ramp so they can be up higher because they're little kids and they can get on the horse. But I was sitting on the ramp and I was having my lunch. I was just looking at the sky, and we have that awning that, like you said, the awning
Mm-hmm.
just barely blocked the sun, and I started seeing them.
Yeah.
Now all the dust and the wispy stuff was there too, but I
Yeah.
could see up
Certain
high
ones, like,
this day.
yeah.
I could see up high by the sun. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then, like you said, it was 1, 2, 3, and then I started seeing shapes that looked like a bird flapping its wings,
Yeah.
way
Far away.
right up by the sun, but way up
Yeah.
high,
Yeah.
coming out from the sun. And I was like, holy crap. And I was sitting next to a coworker. I was like, do you see this? Are you seeing this right now? And they're like, what? And I kind of said, block the sun and look and see if you see it. And they're like, yeah, what is that? And then everyone else came and started looking. And I think there were 2 people that couldn't see it, but everyone else could. And they started like Googling on their phones, news stories, and
Same thing.
yeah, nothing.
Thinking a big anomaly.
And one lady was like, well, maybe it's space garbage. I was like, I don't think that's space garbage.
Yeah. I've been, scouring the internet over the years. I've seen there are convincing videos out that have been out for a long time. And even when the cameras weren't as good,
Mm-hmm.
that, you could see, shots from space, or at least higher altitude, because I know my space friends are tuning out. There is no space. Somebody just punched their phone, I think, or there's no space. I told you. God, you're so stupid. Space isn't real. I don't know. Space is pretty cool, I guess. But I've seen footage of up there
Mm-hmm.
from NASA, leaked footage that's like you're not supposed to see, and so you kind of know what to expect when looking, and then back in the day too, I had ran across videos of people telling you how to block the sun and see.
Yeah.
Like I heard about this in like 2007 or whatever, 2008. And but I've tried it. I remember trying it too. And
Yeah.
but nothing. I don't see anything. Don't know
Mm-hmm.
where to look. And he's like, you just want to block. I almost thought he was trolling.
Yeah.
Like the videos was like, this is troll or a crazy person,
Yeah.
you know?
Now we're the crazy
Right.
people.
Yeah, because some comments do say dust, right? There are those, or bugs, and maybe there are there. But I would say I've got a little blog I was working on about what is dust, because I'm saying, that's just.
Dust.
There's no just. What is just dust?
Yeah.
Because whatever dust is, serpents was cursed to eat that. Whoever the serpent is
Mm-hmm.
of the Bible, he was cursed that he would eat dust. He was cursed that he would go onto his belly and dust would be his food and he would eat it. So there's no just, okay, what is he eating? And so what is dust? So there's a deeper conversation there when, I've got a whole thing on it where NASA shared some UFO stuff or some like anomalies close to the sun and called it dust or space dust or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, they didn't lie to you. So just so you know, they didn't lie to you. You just don't know what dust is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, sharing it, you get the skeptics. They're going to come out the woodworks.
Yeah. I saw some people commenting. We were preparing for this, and I was looking through YouTube, and somebody had said, you say all the time you have all this footage and all this stuff stored up and all these videos, and you see them every day, and how come you haven't shared it? How come we're not seeing it? How come you can't prove it? And it's like, we're not just putting it out there, pearls before swine, all over Facebook. And because too, like, it is pearls before swine, people will get on there and say that's just dust, or that's this or that. You edited it. You're making this up. Like,
well,
it's not going to be real to you unless it is.
I know. So that's the thing. You can't, it's not to put it out there. And I think God honors that, is the fact that you're not putting it out there to try to convince somebody because,
Or look at me, I'm so like
oh no,
spiritual, I could summon
no, because I've
angels.
showed people immediately that they can. Like I want them to do it because they're connected to different angels.
Yes, exactly.
They're connected to different angels, and we come together, and then now we're walking with the 144,
Yeah.
from each tribe. They have different reasons, different functions, but you do get those um, comments or whatever, but those are nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Those comments help the algorithms. The amazing comments and why I release that footage is the ones that are like, people are like, oh my God, I'm in tears right now.
Yeah.
Watching this footage, and the awe and wonder that is like imparted to us, while we're having the sighting, and we just so happen to be able to film something or whatever. People can feel it translates.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and like the Merkaba video got over 550,000 views.
Yeah.
On YouTube. They're skeptics, but they helped the algorithms for the real people who needed to see it, The people who know that they're real, blessed are they that believe and have not seen. So then, because you believe, God honors your truth. And your truth becomes reality.
Yeah.
And you get to see the things that are out there. They're there. I've never seen an angel. It blows my mind, being a podcast host over the years, interviewing people about everything, UFOs, aliens, who write books on it, researchers, all of that, paranormal people who investigate, they write books on it. And the sheer number of these people who have not seen or encountered a UFO, who are experts, but they've not seen one, and experts on the paranormal who have not seen a ghost or seen a spirit or any of that stuff, and who speak on this stuff as experts, it blows my mind. But for the people who believe and can go out there and have encounters, anybody can go out. Like even the interview we just did, the interview I did with the Raelian dude, at the end I was like, so have you had any encounters?
Yeah.
Do they talk to you, sir? No, I've never had one. He said they only talk to Rael.
Only Rael.
Get your only self off of my podcast, sir. That's one of the things I said I didn't want to interview people who were like Messiah. We talk about Messiah complex.
Yeah.
Sir, you was not supposed to drink the Kool-Aid. You weren't supposed to drink. You done drunk all the Kool-Aid. Now you are the Messiah. But I remember saving myself like one time where I was supposed to interview this lady, and then come to find out she was like, I'm the only one who can do all of these things. I'm like, okay, I'm glad it got canceled.
Yeah.
I'm glad that got canceled because I don't want to talk to those people.
Yeah.
And I think the Raelian, like, I can get down with it if they're teaching everybody like how to connect. But you guys are speaking on this, and this is your life, and you've never had it. It blows me away because how it is accessible, like all of this is.
I mean, what are these people going to do when Rael dies? Do they think he's not going to die?
Probably.
Because he's, what, like 80 now? He's
Something
old.
like that,
He was born in the 40s.
Yeah.
I remember that from the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
46. Yeah. I think they tried to, like, I think he was drawn to the conclusion that he was born the year that Israel became a nation. I didn't hear him say that, but he emphasized,
okay.
He said, the Messiah is Israel.
Oh, I got it.
Anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, go watch the last episode. That's a great segue for you to go listen. I interviewed, one of the bishops or rabbis of the UFO cult, the Raelians.
Yeah, and he got me on it as a surprise. Like he interviewed the guy, and I didn't see the interview, so I kind of reacted to it a little bit. But yeah,
a little bit
wild stuff.
Yeah, go watch it. But anyway, we just wanted to talk about ufology, angels and demons, because it's always been a part of the conversation. Well, no. The demon part has been a part of the conversation.
Yeah,
and still is. It's the sensationalism. We can get clicks. You can get clicks like real easy with the demons. The angels, like, it's got to be them that like allow you to get the clicks or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's something about the fear stuff. You know, that's why you won't hear a lot of the good stuff from any of the pastors. If they knew it was angels, they wouldn't even speak on it.
Right.
They say no, it's demons, and they gotta warn people. Um, I don't know.
Well, I think that
I think that's demonic.
yeah, I think the angels will allow you to see based on your intention of your heart and the position of your heart too.
No, I do.
Because there have been times we tried to summon them for other people and it didn't work. And it's like, I know my heart was right, but
Yeah.
you don't know about other people. They might be, their intentions could be.
Until later, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to see. It's very strange, but again, all of the comments though, when we are able to film and share stuff, and again, I will say it again, I've got tons of footage, and the goal was to have this course already out,
yeah,
and to roll it out that you see the footage, and then you want to check out the course because everybody's DMing me, how do you film it? How do I do it? And they're sending me their footage, and they got some great stuff, but I want to teach people how to do it, and also give something to our members, you know, who are part of the community, you know, for a walkthrough on how to do it. And so that's why I was kind of holding off on just releasing footage.
Yeah.
Because I got so much. But again, the comments that, you know, the people that are in tears, I can see if it's one or two. You got two comments where these ladies were touched deeply, or no. There's a lot that start off, I'm in tears right now. Oh my God, I feel the Holy Spirit while you're speaking. Oh my, you know, and they're really like, God is using this pretty crappy cell phone footage, you know?
Yeah.
And because it's deeper than that.
It is.
It's when the outside reflects the inside.
Yeah.
Because you know deep down within you that we have friends in high places, and that we all are connected. And then when you see it, when what's outside of you bears witness what is inside of you, connects with your faith, the feelings that are birthed within you are godly.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Beautiful. It bears beautiful fruit. A lot of people, those people even that said they'd never encountered an angel, they probably have. They probably just didn't recognize it.
And that's what we really want to show. That's what we really want to teach. Because they're all out there, and there's levels to it. But you won't, and you don't really get access until you honor all the angels and learn to honor, you know, their message. Because the word angel just means a messenger, a malak, a messenger and they bring messages. Their aura, their presence, their job title, what they do, all of that tells you their name, because you'll be able to find their name based on what they do. It's in their DNA. And once you're able to honor all the messengers from every realm, whether they are here in the physical or they are etheric and have become light, and they're brighter than the sun that's out there, like our light. That's why most of us can't see them until our eyes are able to behold and take in much light, or you learn how to see them. So it's because people ask, you know, like, remember somebody said, do y'all ever go out and pray anymore without the camera? Just because we were like talking about it so much, like, and it's like, yeah, like just as much, you know. And it was a thing where like we had to be like allowed to do it.
Oh yeah.
Because the moment, like you say, you pull out a cell phone, there's nothing. I felt for the longest time I wouldn't do it because it was so special to me. And I remembered of me having my first encounter and fumbling with the phone to hurry up and film it. And then the experience is over and you missed it because you wanted to, well, I used to say kiss and tell.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I want to show everybody. No, this is your encounter. Instead of you listening to the information and moving to the heart space, you run and go grab a cell phone. So I made sure that years, you know, of this work was done without that. And it's just recent that we can pull out our phones and just ask for a sighting or start praying. And you'll find out one thing about the bugs and stuff like that, and or what it is. Go out there, and those of you who are connected in the spirit, and film, and then start praying while you're filming. And I guarantee you'll see an increase. You'll see different types of beings and craft start showing up and coming on camera, and then they'll start moving faster. It is insane.
Leaves will start blowing in a circle and coming down to
the
you.
birds start acting crazy.
Yeah.
That's one of the weirdest things too. The birds, because we pay attention to the birds and their activity and them flying back and forth when we're connecting and showing us where to look. It is insane.
Yeah.
It is a world that you have to be introduced in and step in to really, like, it's an initiation that
Mhm.
we're all like in that school, but we're all in different phases.
Mhm.
Once you can see God and see Jesus, like we've been talking about since the beginning with fumigation and the angelic, you're not allowed to see them, in the physical or in the sky. If you've been disrespecting the homeless dude that's an angel who's been at the same corner for the past 7 years,
Yeah.
that you won't give him $5 to get a beer because you're like, he's just gonna buy a beer with it. So, cool, that's the same thing you were gonna buy with it. Let him have it.
Yeah.
Why are you judging this guy? Like, start honoring people and start honoring the animals and start honoring everything, and then you're initiated and grafted into a world within a world
Mhm.
that is mind blowing every day.
Yeah, it's incredible. They all have their order too, their divine order, and the nymphs and the
They
fairies,
have
if I
different
can say that
names.
on here.
Yeah, I mean,
Nymphs and fairies and angels and all them that take care of the animals. I mean, there's reasons that they don't worry about anything because they know their superiors have got them. The nature spirits are going to take care of them and make sure they have seed to eat and a place to nest. And
yeah,
if
it,
if they can get it, we got to learn from them and learn that our superiors have got us. That
yeah,
it's abundance. That we
yeah.
don't have to worry.
It really helped me with conspiracies and end of the world. And they're like, watch the animals. What are the animals doing? Because they'll film the animals like going in circles and stuff. The animals are getting in tune with the energy
Yeah.
so that y'all can't take their energy. They're
Yeah.
building, because they're like, because I watch the animals and the birds ain't freaking out. The
Mm-mm.
birds are still on. Like, if they're not freaking out, I don't want to freak out. Jesus is like, listen, look at the lilies, look at the birds, ask them, what do they say? And they can teach you and impart a lot on what to freak out about and what not to.
Mm-hmm.
Endless genealogies and fables and those things, like, and and maybe people think some of the stuff is that until you experience it.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, nymphs and fairies or whatever. That's a myth and a fable until they've encountered God or the angelic in the form of tiny lights that come out of the top of trees and look like fairies and come down and go back into it. It's all fake and it's all imagination until it's not. The nymphs, until you read the scriptures and you read that there's a town called um Nymphos or whatever. And you're like, what does that word mean? And you look it up and you're like, hold on, well, maybe nymphs are real. And you let that sink in from your head down to your heart. I would love it if nymphs are real. Would you? I've got a couple shrubberies I'd like you to push to the side, and because there's a nymph hiding in the shrubbery. It's really Goose,
Yeah.
a
No,
dog,
Goose eats the shrubbery so we can find the nymphs.
right? No, it's yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Life is beautiful, man.
Everything exists. Everything exists. If it didn't exist the moment you think it existed.
Mm.
I think that's how powerful we are,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know it, and we just like hope that we get to see or whatever. Versus like, you go out there, you believe it, you speak it, and then
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the science, but it's fun experiencing the spirituality behind it because
Mm-hmm.
they do go hand in hand.
Yeah. Totally.
We've been talking about, again, spirits and angels and demons and shrubbery, and so we want to make sure we tell everybody again to go
Mm-hmm.
check out our
Yeah.
friends at Magic Mind. They hit us up and
Magic
wanted us to check
Mind.
out this amazing one-shot cognitive enhancement elixir. Sharper mind, lower stress, better energy. We love it. We use it, and we need to order some more. We need
Mental
to get on the
performance shot.
subscription
Creativity.
plan. The all the info for this is in the description to get your discount. You can check that out and use the code word Truth Seeker, Truth 20.
Truth Seeker 20.
Truth Seeker 20. It's in the description.
Yeah.
Also, again, plugging our upcoming retreat. It's in Knoxville. I wanted to say Nashville
I
so
know
bad.
every time.
It's in Knoxville, Tennessee,
Knoxville.
baby.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. We're going to actually get out under the stars a little bit. Hopefully, if the skies are clear, we're going to be around a campfire maybe and see if we can see some entities in the sky.
Yeah, it's so hard to like, have your one thing. What do? Well, we just show up and we just do sound healing. No. Like we're just going to show up. It's going to be a CE5. We're going to go out under the stars and we're going to ask God to allow us to see our angels, and we're going to say hello. And if we all are in one accord and we want it, many times it happens. And if not, we've got night vision goggles that allow you to see beyond stars, right?
Yep.
Blow your mind. So if it was just one or two things that we're doing, but then it's like cacao ceremony, breath work, it really is a encounter. And that's what we're calling them, a encounter and experience and immersive experience.
It's going to be a full cleanse for the mind, body, and spirit. It's going to be beautiful.
The immersions. Join us for these immersions. And if you're not able to make it and you'd like us to come and host something in your area, if you can, or you want us to come speak at your gathering, your church, wherever it is, your home meeting, and do something there, go to our website, go to truthseeker.com, go to seer.school, send us a message, and we definitely are feeling led to get out there, and we love connecting with our tribe in the physical. So
yeah,
we've been connecting with our tribe in the spirit for so long,
and on Zoom,
but in the physical, it's fun.
It is.
That's where these retreats really are amazing. I love being a part of it, being able to hug people and all that cool stuff. Is that it? Is that what we're doing?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed these stories. I hope your faith is built, and I hope that you're walking in honor. And if you are, man, maybe comment some of your stories below.
Yeah.
I love to hear people's like experiences, whether they came from this, this podcast, which there's so many, because it like birthed something in them. They're like, oh wow, I can try that, and then they do it, and now they're like excelling past our experiences because that's their thing,
Yeah.
Or stuff you've had in the past. Like we get so many messages, but I love hearing them. So make sure you post those in the comments below. Let us know.
Yeah, and if this like really stirred up emotion in you and stirred up your faith and your gratitude and your desire, go out and ask. Go out right now if you're able, and block the sun with just the edge of a building or a pole or something. Just block the sun and look and see what you see. And if it's nighttime, go out and look at the sky, pray, ask God.
Yeah, it's so prevalent that you don't even have to do any of that. It's everywhere you look, and it's wherever the sun, it's wherever light is, or and that light is within you. So whatever you see outside of you in this telepathic communication stuff, it continues after a sighting. So it's not just about seeing; it's about like what is the transformation, like what is the encounter.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're in a relationship, because you saw them. But then you really see them when you get the message, because angels aren't just, they don't just exist for you to see them. There is impartation by seeing them. That's why you don't need to see them. Many people don't need to, or they can't. Their eyes are calloused. The majority of us, we're learning to see. We're becoming lighter. We're getting more light in us, and we're tapping into what people call the fourth dimension.
Yeah.
The veil is coming down. And we know that with the evil. We've been seeing that.
Yeah.
That's low-hanging fruit. How about the good that's happening in the fourth dimension? That's where we come in.
Yeah, that's what we want.
So yeah, there's podcasts everywhere about UFOs as demons and blah, 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 blah. Okay. What about the angels? What about the fairies?
They're speaking too. And I want their messages.
Yeah. So, yeah. With that, we're going to say peace and shalom. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give us a subscribe and a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Check out seer.school. Check out our online community. And that's where we'll be hanging out twice a week.
Yep.
We've got a session tonight.
Yep.
This is what we do.
Thursday
with
night.
our folks. Folks all around the world.
Yeah.
You can't say around. We got folks all around the globe.
Can't say that.
Because the Earth is not round; it is flat, and it's not a globe. It's a flat Earth with a dome.
That's your truth.
I'll learn one day. That's not. Listen, hey, debate me.
Don't.
What's that got to do with the price of rice in China?
Oh, nothing.
For some people, it does. It's their awakening.
Yeah.
It is their UFOs or demons. It's their awakening to UFOs or demons. Flat Earth.
Yeah.
Listen, interdimensional doesn't mean demon. How about that?
There you go.
You ready to have that conversation? Tomorrow on the True Seeker Podcast.
Peace.
Shalom.